least most of you got that that was a joke, right? She was like this. I swear to God, she gave me this reaction. And she walked out of the Starbucks. Like she left. Like fully left. I was like, what the fuck? So I texted Tanya and I was like, dude, you will never guess what just happened. And she was like, oh, whatever, just met an overweight nutrition student and I thought of you. Maybe you could help her study. Smiley face. That happened to me. I was in an airport and I was sitting down and this like stout woman came and sat next to me, right? And I was like, oh, whatever, conversation. And I was like, oh, so where are you from? What do you do, etc. She was like, oh, I'm a nutrition student. And I was like, oh, cool. And inside, of course, I was like, bullshit, And she's, like, ironically enough, like, 2 weeks before I had met the hottest girl I had ever met in my life. Not like porn star hot, like, she was like corn-fed, she's from Indiana. Her abs were like this, like, I literally touched them and was like, oh my gosh, And she was super tan, and she was like, oh, I study nutrition. And I was like, of course you do. So I texted her that. Something funny, something crazy, something interesting. A great free-floating text that I just thought up like 2 days ago. I didn't even put it in the thing. And write this one down if you want. But if you get called out, it's because I know lots of girls in Hollywood. Yo, I've been building something for you, and I just finished it. Google Taj Mahal, it should show up. I've gotten like awesome responses with that one every time. I'm fucking wicked proud of it too. Okay, maintaining regular questions. There's another question. A question to see to another date. Like I said, red or white. Do you like popcorn when you watch movies? A joke. I got this, I don't know where I got this. It's not mine. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. Knock knock, who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you can say you miss me. It's one of my things. Cheesy, silly, but guess what? She's just texted you back a whole bunch of times. In my seminar in the DVD, we go into compliance and how this is generating social obligation, like a handshake. If I say knock knock, comedian Noel Fielding says one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He's like, whispering is the most powerful thing in the world. Because when you say, hey, guess what? No one's gonna be like, what? Because it's like the weirdest thing. So when you say knock knock, no girl's gonna just fucking ignore you. She's gonna be like, who's there? End upbeat and eject first if it turns into a conversation. If she doesn't respond, don't worry about it. She's probably bitching, right? Boy, we all say that, right? When our shit doesn't go wrong, we're like, whatever, let's go. Then I slept with a lesbian and I was like, fuck, I can't say that anymore. Texting, if you want to chat longer, if you want to have a conversation, it is perfectly okay and really, really, really useful. I don't really have time to go into it in depth now, and I hate to be like the dude that shows up and is like, but if you want to learn more, I have a DVD coming out. I'm really not trying to be like that. But use my flowchart. Oh, it's coming up. Are you guys excited? Use callback humor, like whoever was doing the thing. You can do that 7 or 8 times. Use the HV stories. Tell her something funny. Do it quick. Do it in short bursts. At Starbucks, the most ridiculous thing ever happened. This guy set up a chair at the drink bar. What the fuck? Stuff like that. End the interaction first. Again, all standard stuff. Before I get onto the flowchart, I want to say something about abbreviating. The thing about texting right now is I don't believe in abbreviating. I don't believe in spelling like a 4-year-old. I don't believe in writing numbers where there should be words. If you're really, really, really cramming to fit it into that 140 characters, change because to BC, change about to ABT. Don't use numbers. You look like a 14-year-old, okay? Proper capitalization, hold on, I'm just going to see if I can make through it and I'll take questions. Proper capitalization, proper punctuation, use the correct word. It's a DHV when you spell correctly, when you capitalize correctly, and when you appear intelligent. Promise you. Hold on. I will take questions if I can just make sure I get through all of this crap, because I do want to show you. Here's my text game flowchart. This is miserable. In my mind, this was back there, and it was just all this. But it's not that way. So I will talk you through it. If everybody can at least see the colors, I'll tell you exactly what they say. Okay? I know, I will. I'll point it to because I'm so proud of this shit. It works. This is a flowchart for the way that your conversation will proceed. Okay, blue, you. Red. Bitch. That's going to go up on YouTube, I know. You. All right, we'll do it again. Blue. You. Red. Lovely lady. Number one, you're going to start off with something that is a bait. What I call a bait. I will read this definition here because I kind of busted my butt to write it. A bait is, it does not always have to be a question. A bait is something that requires a response on account of social obligation. Later on in the interaction, it could be something as little as something that you know she will respond to. If you've been dating a girl 3 years, you know, you can be like, hey, send her a text or like, how's work? Or whatever, that's fine. You know, fucking, you know, Adam Lyons, one of my favorite pickup artists, doesn't wake up every morning and turn to his wife and be like, who lies more women or men? You know, there's certain established relationships. But at the beginning of the interaction, it will be something that needs to be socially obligated to respond to, like a question. A perfect example of this is, hey, are you a puppy person or a kitty person? Reading back like crazy. So that's your bait. She will respond to this. That's called a response. I know I'm really good at this. Music school paid off. Response. Anything specifically related to a comment made or a subject broached. I.e., that sounds cool, or a kitty person. What you want to do, if she just responds, you're going to send her comment and bait. You're going to comment on her response and bait again, because that thread ain't going nowhere. You know, the last thing you want to do on a text is like, you're a kitty person? Can you elaborate? Fuck you, like delete, whatever. The comment, you want to, it's a standalone subject or article unrelated to anything. That is particularly directed to the response. You know, oh, that sounds cool. What's the example I have here? I wish it were warm here. And the comment, sorry, that's actually comes there. The comment and the bait is, of course, something related to her response, and then you're going to bait again. The example of this is, I wish it were warm here, do you like the cold? Now, if you get this from her, which you made down here, it's an IOI. If you say, hey, you know, if you send a girl a thing that says, do you like extreme cold or extreme heat? And she says, I love the cold. Is it hot there or is it cold there? That's an IOI. She's continuing. She's baiting for you. So we've got bait, response, comment, and bait. Worst case scenario, she's going to respond. She's just going to give you a flat response. If I comment and bait, if I say, I wish it was warm here, do you like the cold? And all she says is, yes, you've got to go down here. You've got to do a little takeaway, a text takeaway. Never heard that, did you? I thought that up all by myself. A text takeaway is something that will take away the good feeling, that will take away the humor, that will add a little seriousness. It's kind of like a freeze out, basically. I use one, I just say HM period. Then I'll do an aside bait. An aside bait is just an unrelated bait. By the way, what was the name of the club we were at last night? You're continuing the interaction, but you're like, okay, you're an idiot, let's try a new subject. You know, you're not really saying that. Good other examples of takeaways are like, I'll always say, one-word answers are a great way to stop the conversation. By the way, what was the name of the club last night? You know, something like that. One of my friends last night, we were doing a little consult, and this girl said, what'd she say? I never thank you for that book. And he was like, so thank me. She was like, oh, okay, great.